So, which type of man are you? Which of these two types of men, are you? Are you a drifter or are you a man who is driven? Napoleon Hill is known for his famous book, Think and Grow Rich, which is one of my top 10 favorite books of all time. But he has another book, certainly a less known and less popular book, called Outwitting the Devil, which I have a copy of, which I read a number of years ago. And I love the book, Outwitting the Devil, but the line in the book that that means the most to me, that had the most impact to me, is a line or a quote that says, "My secret weapon when dealing with human beings is to instill the habit of drifting." To instill the habit of drifting. And the quote is signed by the devil in the book, Outwitting the Devil. This quote comes from the devil. My secret weapon against human beings is to instill the habit of drifting. Signed, the devil. To me, that is a powerful, powerful concept. And we can see it all in our own lives as husbands, fathers, entrepreneurs, community leaders. Have you established the habit of drifting in your life? Whether it's daily rituals, whether it's daily habits, whether it's your environment, has the habit of drifting been instilled in your daily life? And what a great time of year to sit back and think about this and say to yourself, okay, the habit of drifting has been instilled in my life in these areas. I think if the habit of drifting has been instilled in any areas of your life, I think it's in all areas of your life. So it's a great time to sit down with your journal in solitude and really examine your entire world and examine your marriage, your money, your relationship with your children, your relationship with your grandchildren. What does your physical health look like? What does your mental health look like? What does your impact in the community look like? Are you serving other people? What does your time management look like? What does every major area of your life look like? Your spiritual life, your emotional life, your physical life, your marriage, your relationships with your family members. Are you drifting or are you driven? Which type of man are you? Which type of world builder are you? And have you succumbed to the habit of drifting? And if you have, it happens to all of us, if you've surrendered to the habit of drifting in your life, if you're drifting in your marriage, if you're drifting in your business, if you're drifting with your relationship with your children, if your physical health and mental health, if you're drifting in those areas, if you're no longer serving other people, if your world has become about survival and just you serving yourself, selfishness, if you're drifting in that area, corrections can be made. So what a great time of year as we're heading into a brand new calendar year to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to stop drifting and I'm going to become driven. And you set goals, you set a mission, you change your environment, you change your associates, your friends, the people in your life having an impact so that you can move from being a drifter and transform into a husband, father, community leader, and a man, a king, a badass champion who is driven. See, we're one of the two. We're one of the two, and we have to decide, am I going to continue to be a drifter in 2023, Or am I going to become 10 feet tall, bulletproof, and a driven, badass world builder? You're one of the two. You're either the 99% ordinary, average, mediocre drifters. 99% of businessmen, husbands, and fathers are drifters. I deal with them all the time, drifters. And they drift through life, medicate it, sedate it, sleepwalking through every day. It's somebody else's fault. It's not their fault. And every year, promises made, but promises not kept. So if you're in a situation where you've fallen into a mental rut and you're drifting in any area of your life, the number one thing you need to do is look at the man in the mirror. Look at the man in the glass. Are you willing to live with being a drifter for another 365 days? Are you going to set new standards, or are you going to tolerate yourself being a drifter? You know, if you're overweight, if you're unhealthy, you're drinking too much alcohol, you've lost a connection with your children or your wife, you're not getting in your walking, you're not getting in your marketing and copywriting time, your business isn't growing profitably, that's drifting. That's drifting. Are you getting 0.001% every day better? Are you reading? Are you writing? Are you praying? Are you meditating? Are you growing as a husband, father, and businessman? If you're not, you're drifting. You're part of the 99% quiet desperation crowd. If you're drifting, why do you think husbands, fathers, and businessmen who are living a quiet life of desperation, why do you think they're in a mental space of quiet desperation? Sleepwalking through life, not showing up as a husband, not showing up as a father, not showing up as a business leader and community leader. Why do you think they're living a life of quiet desperation? They're living a life of quiet desperation because they're drifting. They're no longer committed to constant and never-ending improvement. And number two, they're not serving anybody else. They're not contributing to anybody or helping anything or anybody or anything. So if you've lost your way, it's time to refocus on driven. I'm going to become a driven husband. I'm going to become a driven father. I'm going to become a driven businessman. I'm going to become a badass driven world builder. Can't build your own world of personal sovereignty if you're a drifter. If you're a drifter, it's a hole of unhappiness. If you're a drifter and you succumb to what the devil quote, I mean, that's the secret weapon. That's the secret weapon of the devil, to get you into a mindset, into daily behavior of drifting. Well, Michael, I haven't been walking, and I haven't been eating the right foods, and, I've been drinking, at the holidays and all this other stuff. I haven't been copywriting, and I'm not investing 30% of my time in marketing per day. I'm wasting a lot of my time on unprofitable activities. That's the work of the devil. That's whatever your devil may be, that's the work of the devil. He's got you drifting. And you will drift into a hole of unhappiness. You will drift into darkness. You will drift into depression. You will drift into anxiety. You will literally drift into a hole of unhappiness. And then what do guys do when they're in a hole of unhappiness? They drink too much. They eat too much. They self-medicate. They get involved in gambling. They get involved in abuse of alcohol and drugs. They get into pornography. They get into pro sports, watching endless games, checking out. You're not showing up as a husband. You're not showing up as a father. You're not showing up as a grandfather. You're not showing up in your life because you're a drifter. So that's an amazing quote in that Napoleon Hill book that I have written down. And it just reminds me, we're all susceptible to drifting. And when I'm struggling in a certain area of my life, I'm like, wake up, Michael, you're drifting. Wake up, Michael, you're drifting. You're taking steps towards a hole of unhappiness. You're taking steps towards depression. You're taking steps towards anxiety. You're taking steps towards darkness. And then I pull myself back to the light. I'm like, I gotta walk, I gotta read, I gotta pray, I gotta train, I gotta drink water, I gotta date my wife, I gotta spend time with my daughter, I need to love my parents, I need to help other people, I need to serve more businessmen. And I pull myself back into the light and away from the darkness of drifting. Drifting equals darkness, personal growth and contribution equals light, just like that Christmas tree. Contribution and never-ending growth is light in your life. If you have darkness in your life, if you have depression in your life, anxiety, if you have stress and worry in your life, stop drifting. Stop drifting. The devil wants you to drift. Okay, you're dark. The bad wolf. The bad wolf wants you to drift. The bad wolf wants to show up on your shoulder and make sure you got your eyes off your goals, off your mission. He wants you to drift. When you drift, he'll pay you a visit. And you will go against your values and your integrity and your goals and your mission, and you know what is right. So keep that bad wolf at bay by constantly improving, constantly contributing to other people, and every day being a driven husband, driven father, driven businessman. So ask yourself as we head into a brand new calendar year, are you a drifter? And if you are, what do you intend to do about it to change that? Or are you a driven badass world builder? A man who is on a mission every single day to get a tiny little bit better, to become the best version of yourself, the best husband, father, the best grandfather, the best physical shape, mental shape, the best marketer. You're just constantly dedicated to improving, and you're going to help people during the journey. Who is your business helping? Who are you helping? Who are you serving? And every time you do that, every time you improve as a man, every time you give back, another step towards the light, another step into the sunlight, another step into the sunlight, another step away from the darkness, another step away from drifting, another step away from the devil's mindset. Drifter or driven? Which is it? Drifter or driven? My mastermind coming up to the deadline. We're starting this Wednesday with my world builders. This Thursday with my champions mastermind. There's still room in my world builders. Go to badassworldbuilders.com. If you're drifting and you're in a hole of unhappiness, let me show you the secret path to a driven, happy, fulfilled life. That's what that mastermind is about. 12 months with yours, relentless, and 49 other elite, generous, and driven men. There's nothing more powerful in this world than two things. Association, who you hang with, 49 brothers and me, and number two, your environment. I will help you clean up any part of your environment or your association that does not serve you. That's what world building is about. We're going to say no to a lot of things in the next 12 months. I still have some spots available. Badassworldbuilders.com. Five questions. Fill them out. I'll look at your application. I'll see if you qualify. If you don't, no problem. If you do qualify and I'm the right coach, I'm going to help you get out. I'm going to help you transition from drifter in the new year to driven every day. Driven husband, driven father, driven community leader, driven physically, driven mentally, driven copywriter, driven marketer, driven world builder. Badassworldbuilders.com. Apply now. Only a couple more days left. That's it. Tomorrow is my 365 goal. 365 days tomorrow. I've been carrying this broken iPhone 7, this gimbal. I've been walking in the winter. I've been walking in the wind. I've been walking in the heat. I've been walking when I'm happy. I've been walking when I'm sad. I've been walking when I'm healthy. I've been walking when I've been ill. Every damn day I've shown up and walked and shot a video for you. Every day you've got an email video. Every day I've posted one on YouTube. 364 days. This is 364. I got one more day. When I open up my eyes tomorrow and I pray and I go for my walk, that's 365. That was the number one goal I set for myself in the last year. One goal, not two, one. To every single day walk for a year straight and shoot a video that serves men like you. That was it. One goal, to walk every day and walk and talk and shoot a video that serves 1 million elite, driven, generous businessmen like you. I have one more day, God willing, and I've achieved that goal. One day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. Now I'm at 364. Do you think that's driven, or do you think that's drifting? Do you think I drifted through the last year, or do you think I said, that's my one goal? That's my one goal that I'm going to accomplish. I'm going to serve others and I'm going to serve myself with that one goal. Walking and talking, walking and talking, walking and talking. The walking's for me, the talking's for you. One simple goal that I set this year. Not two, not three, not five, one goal. And I'm 24 hours away from achieving it. I didn't drift this year. I didn't drift. I was driven every day. Even when I didn't feel like doing it, I got up and I did it because that was my one goal to accomplish this year. I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow when I shoot my 365th straight video for you. Remember to hug your wife and children when you see them today. Nothing is more important than you being a fierce family man. I am a fucking fierce family man, first and foremost. Everything else is beneath that. Entrepreneurship, community, you name it. Number one, fierce family man. And to be a king of your domain, your people need to know that you love them and you support them, and the door is always open every single day. They need to hear the words that you love them and that you support them. Your queen needs to hear it every damn day. Sometimes your voice, sometimes your pen, sometimes write it on a mirror, sometimes type a letter. Every day the king tells his queen, his ride or die partner, his secret weapon, how much she means to you. You are fuck all without her. You are nothing without your ride or die partner. Simple as that. So every day you don't ever take family for granted. Ever. There is a last time you will talk to your wife. There is a last time you will talk to your daughter. There is a last time you will talk to your son. There is a last time you will celebrate a Christmas. There is a last time you will celebrate a Thanksgiving. There is a last time you will walk with your queen. We don't take life for granted. We build the world of our dreams until our tour of duty is over, and you will not decide when the tour of duty is over. You will just appreciate every second that you have. And the biggest part of appreciation is telling the most important people in your life how much you love them and how much you need them and how much the door is always open. Every damn day, they need to hear from you. Every single day. Different ways, but every day the king needs to speak with the people that matter the most to you. That's how a driven king, that's how a driven lion behaves. If you're a drifter, you don't give a shit about yourself, you don't give a shit about your wife, you don't give a shit about your kids. That's not my ball game. That's rat poison to me. I can't help that man. I can't help that tomato can. I can't help the deballed house cat. I can only help real men who starting to drift or have been drifting, but are principled and valued and gritty and motivated and relentless. I help those guys get back on the road, back on track. But if you don't have principles and values and work ethic, if you're just weak, then I can't help you. But I help the man who started to drift because of environment, because of bad associations, because of bad habits, bad substances, too much politics, too much TV, too much anti-social media, too much alcohol, too much sports, too much whatever. I help that man say no to that stuff and get back on track, driven. From drifting to driven. badassworldbuilder.com. That's it. That's all. 2 words that changed my life. 2 words that'll change your life. Be relentless.